Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com. This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
Welcome to our family here at Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, is my I don't even know where to go with this. My co-host, my partner, Nate.
Stop with that face on your face. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing.
It's my face. I was born with it.
That face on your face.
I can't do anything about it.
Hate it.
Well. Strong opening statement for this episode. This week we are reviewing
Hereditary.
That's right.
We saw it literally like 30 minutes ago. If you can't remember the name of the movie, not a good sign.
Well, I'd say my poor short-term memory is Hereditary.
Yeah. Sure.
So welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we look at a different horror movie. We have a debate with ourselves, and we also bring on an unsuspecting victim to join in with us, someone who is not who we would call a horror movie fan, not typically anyway. This week, returning back, I don't know if she takes the crown for most return trips, but we have Kirti back with us.
So Kirti, I wanted to let you know that you were on episode 3 of It Comes at Night. That was exactly 1 year and 1 day ago.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you for that trivia that was useless for my life.
I know that you've forgotten about it or blocked it out of your memory because we hated that movie so much, but I just wanted to let you know, and all the fans of the podcast, we've been going for 1 year.
Is it really a year now?
Yes, it is 1 year. Yes.
Wow. Time flies when you're
editing podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah. Time flies when you're trying to convince your friends to come in and watch horror movies with you.
We do a pretty good job.
Actually,
it's shocking.
Now, it's because people are, we're such a big deal now that
I don't know about that. But thank you to all the people who've been downloading our podcast.
Thank you to our friends, and Kirti, thank you. So I'm trying to remember do you remember what the last movie you were here was?
Yeah, it was Truth or Dare.
Oh, it was memorable.
That was right. Yeah. It was because we had Napro with us.
So you've been on Truth or Dare.
Yep.
It Comes at Night.
Yeah.
So we'll rule those out. This movie,
Train to Busan.
Yeah,
so don't forget that one.
No, I'm saying I'm removing those first two out of contention for the best movie you've seen so far because I know they don't count. So really, in terms of movies so Train to Busan is still your favorite. That's safe to say.
Yes, I think the other one I was here for, which I don't know if I am accurate in this description, was Witch, because you tried to convince us that it was a 8-star rated movie, and I was
8-star rating.
That's right.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds like something
Nate's got his own Michelin star system. It's called the McIntyre system.
Sometimes the stars have smiley faces in them. Sometimes they don't. It depends on how good the movie. They actually get 8 stars at all times. The color of the star is really the indicator of how well the movie is.
It's a multi-tiered rating system.
Let's not talk about stars anymore.
It's like, they were like, hey, let the Dewey Decimal System replace this old system, and I keep using the old. So that's level where we're at.
So outside of the Vitch, you've pretty much been on all of our A24 jams, I think,
and
right?
The Vitch.
Yeah.
I love the Vitch.
We're well aware.
You guys totally did that on purpose, right?
Did you want to be
a theme happening here?
I just think Nate didn't want to get yelled at about that from more than one. He brought his buddy Tom in for that one, and I think that's because they wanted to.
Although he hated the movies.
He did hate the movie. I think he thought that he might have a partner in there, but
no, that failed.
Well, Well, yeah, so check out that episode. But first, we're going to get to this brand new release movie, very highly talked about, a lot of buzz about this one.
Yeah, so Hereditary came out today. And so our episode will release on Friday, but we saw it Thursday night. The theater was pretty full, I would say.
Yeah.
And
it was it was in one of the larger theaters at this particular movie theater that we went to.
And I would say for large parts, I just want to get, so when we go see the movie in the actual theater, I kind of like to give the atmosphere. So the atmosphere, I think about 3/4 of the movie was pretty dead silent. Like people were pretty riveted.
It wasn't
until the end.
Yeah, well,
which we'll get into when we get to the spoilers later in the episode.
No, I was gonna say it wasn't quite a quiet place.
No, it wasn't that quiet
where you could hear your own heartbeat.
Yeah,
quiet.
But it was pretty. Pretty quiet throughout until the end, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll
get into it.
I'm excited for this one. This is gonna be a fun one. Kirti, welcome back. With that said, we're gonna jump into this week's debate question of the week.
We will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not blaspheme. He will punish you. The jaws of hell will devour you. All of you. No.
Okay, so very briefly, this movie in the trailer mentions that, kind of one of the big driving parts of this is that the grandmother in this family dies.
This family experiences loss.
Yeah. And it does talk about a lot of different, I guess, ways to grieve the loss of a loved one. That the main actress kind of goes through. So of course, there are references to some seances, and I guess one of the things they kind of talk about is having an article that's really near and dear to that person. So my question to both of you is, all right, you're dead.
Okay.
Just picture yourself dead, dead and gone.
Yeah.
What is that? What article am I going to use to contact y'all in the afterlife here?
Sure.
I'm alive in this scenario. You both are dead.
Oh yeah! Wow. Thanks for that.
Really want to drive that point. I am still moving on with my life.
If I'm dead and you're alive and you're trying to conjure me after this conversation, I'm silently protesting and not responding to anything that you're saying. It's a protest. Don't think it's not because I'm not answering. I am just specifically not responding to you and hearing you.
Instead of a hunger strike, it's a seance strike. Is what he's doing.
Exactly.
However, you should have read the clause in your podcast contract. Death doesn't keep you from your contractual duties. Yeah, thank you. So
no, you try to conjure me. I'm just kneeling. I'm kneeling on the field. you cannot get me.
All right, so I don't know who wants to take this one first. I'll kind of just throw it out there like a live grenade. One of y'all can jump on it.
I was gonna say Kirti's work laptop would be her. It's the best way to get a hold of her. But
wow, it's funny because Kirti's addicted to work.
It's so funny.
Okay, I'll go for me. So one of the things that I've had for a long time and I've used quite a bit is I still have my first ever guitar. So I still have my first ever electric guitar I got when I was 13. And I still have it. It's a sweet whammy bar. It is orange, of course. Why not? And I've played a lot of music on it. So ideally, they would have that guitar, but not only do they have to have the guitar present, they have to play a certain song on the guitar to conjure me.
No one's going to this kind of effort.
I'm adding an extra level.
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Is this two-factor authentication?
They have to play.
Well, it's good. So many of these movies where they do have seances, so many of them, they don't really know who they're bringing. They're just like,
you have to.
Oh, the candle flickered. It must be Nana. It's like, maybe it's not.
No. You have to play the opening couple bars of Jimi Hendrix's Purple Haze, or I do not show up. I have a lot of.
Why Purple Haze?
That's one of the first songs I ever learned on guitar.
That's what you want to hang your hat on.
Yeah, Purple Haze.
Purple Haze.
Yeah,
that's like, and that's not like a difficult song. Like,
no, the intro is the opening riff. I just need the opening riff, and then I'm there.
That's like saying, don't smoke on the water is fine.
No,
that's like
it's a little harder than smoke on. It's a little harder than smoke on the water. A little bit harder.
You just said the opening note.
The opening riff. The opening riff.
Okay.
You get a whole riff.
measure. Okay.
Not one. Come on. I'm low maintenance.
Nate's so excited about hearing Purple Haze. He's like, yeah, I'm here. It's like it's just been one note. I wasn't even going to play that.
I specifically hold back so I can hear more of the song.
You're going to judge. How well did you nail it?
Get to the chorus and then I'm in.
Would that, so question. If someone's playing it, right, are you going to wait to see how well they do? And that's the amount of interaction you're going to give them? Like, if they're kind of fucking it up and they're fat fingering it like I do and I play, actual guitar, are you just going to make the light flicker versus if someone's just nailing it? If Jimi Hendrix were alive and he's just wailing on it, are you just like full manifestation? Is that what you're waiting on?
Oh, okay, yeah. So like
full hologram. So like,
So the
like Scooby-Doo mystery.
Well, no, I said the range is I show up and I flicker something, or like I show up as like Tupac's hologram. Like that's the range. That's the range. Yeah, if it's a full on professional guitar player, I could be Tupac hologram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom Morello's over here cranking out, wants to talk to you for some goddamn known reason. You're coming in. Are you coming with Tupac hologram? Like it's just both of y'all. Both of y'all.
I guess in theory, Jimi Hendrix would come with me, which would make more sense
because Tupac's not dead.
Yeah.
Hard take. Hot take. Okay, Kirti, how about you?
Oh my God.
It's about as hard as the bullets that went through. That's how hard the take was.
God damn!
So your family members or whoever is trying to conjure you from the great unknown.
No, this is Mitch. I thought Mitch is conjuring both of us.
We're going to leave Mitch out of the equation.
Okay.
Wow.
That'll probably make it easier for everybody.
To be fair, I would not invest in time.
So what's like a thing? So like, I feel like in today's day, like everyone's phones, like the things they use the most. Yeah. So it could be an app.
Yeah.
Like,
if we looked at
it's like Kirti Seance app, just like click the button, it just happens.
Hold on, I'm dropping grams on the seance.
Kirti's app would give you the analytics, how often you do it, how like the time of the frequency of the duration, all that.
Can we stop talking about my job?
It's a Tableau dashboard.
Your seance lasted 30% less time than the last seance. What, do you guys don't like me anymore? What's going on here?
Oh, I love it. Okay.
No, seriously. What do you got?
Okay, this is probably super lame and very materialistic, but I have this T-shirt that I've had ever since I was like 10, and I still kind of fit in it. So that's probably the weirdest.
Humble brag.
That's not a brag at all.
Okay, describe the shirt. What's on the shirt?
So I always blame my mom for a horrible fashion taste that she had. So my brother and I would be in many multicolored clothes. So not like multicolored cool like the 80s.
Like body glove. Like that, like Izod.
So
like those, you know what I'm talking about.
Jesus.
Like a handprint and like 100 rainbows.
India. So this is I'm probably off the streets, I would guess, if I had to remember.
It's like a street vendor t-shirt.
Street vendor t-shirt, but it's like a legit, it's like, it hasn't worn out all this time. It is sort of neon pink in color, and it has purple neon stripes across it, horizontally, of course.
Of course.
Not even vertical.
Slimming.
No, not at all.
Slimming.
That is the t-shirt. I can't believe I'm describing a t-shirt.
That's awesome. Okay.
So that.
Any words or anything on it, or just the colors?
Just the colors.
Colors say it all.
The colors say it all. Maybe the tag has something ridiculous on it, like a Folex version
like
of
Tammy Halfager or something. I don't know.
Something like that. But
So grubby old t-shirt. They're bringing it out of the
t-shirt.
They're bringing it out of the drawer and they're using it. Okay.
Right.
All right, Mitch. What about you here?
So, okay, I'm going to preface this by saying, if a seance is possible.
I thought you were going to say, if I die.
When I die.
If I die. No, I would like to think that our loved ones aren't just hanging around waiting for us to ask them to move a little wooden dial to make us feel better. I would like to think they're there. If this is a thing that actually is possible, I would hope that, we don't bother them. They just are peaceful.
I
have to ask Lisa for that.
You're saying like a Ouija board? If I was doing the Ouija board, I would have them spell out chocolate starfish.
Chocolate starfish.
Chocolate starfish.
Oh, Fred Durst, you garbage human.
Because then they know nothing good is coming of this. Shut it down. No hope anymore.
No. So I would make it really complicated. It would need to be like my
Okay.
first bass, my microphone I've had forever.
So like basically all your precious moments made into a Rube Goldberg machine
Yes.
to conjure you.
Yeah, you would have to kick it off. It would have to go through like light candle. It would have to do a whole thing.
And at the end, like a glass moves like 3 inches. And then
Yeah.
that's it.
Although, to be honest, if you probably just got a Whataburger and put it out there, I'd probably come for that. I like to pretend I'm going to be like really picky, like, oh, fuck, it's double Whataburger with cheese? Hell yeah, I'm there. What's
Take
up?
a
What
note,
y'all want?
listeners.
Yeah.
This was Mitch's favorite Whataburger ketchup. Put it on the table.
Yeah, you get that spicy ketchup, son. I'm there. I am easy to. I'm an easy sellout. That's all this is.
So yours wins for ease. Mine's probably the coolest.
Okay.
Sure.
Maybe?
Sure.
Is mine somehow the coolest?
I mean, compared to a T-shirt and Whataburger, I guess.
Yes, low bar.
I
Sweet.
guess. Sure.
I'm gonna take the W on this one.
All right. So listeners, if you are dead, I mean, not obviously. If you were to die,
Wow, that
what would you want people
escalated.
to use?
Ghost
What would
tweet
you-
us at TX Podmaster.
What is the thing you would like? Yeah, that's a weird thing. Don't do that. Actually, I really don't want to be involved in anything like that. Just you just tell us what you think's best. Which one won?
Or
That's
what
better.
you've tried to use for your family members? How about that? Throw that out there. Like if you try to do a seance, what did you use? What worked? What didn't
If
work?
you tried to use a seance, I think we have other resources to send your way, my man.
Just wait 3 to 6 hours and we will respond back to you. Do not move
my
from your
God.
current location.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, there's nothing else. I think I'm ready. I'm bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
My head literally can't take it anymore. We need to talk about this week's movie of the week, Hereditary.
Maybe we finish the toy after the quiz. My name's Annie. My mom died a week ago. She was a very private woman, and she wasn't altogether there at the end.
Who's gonna take care of me
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
when you die?
Sorry, I recognize you from your mother. How is your relationship with your daughter? What?
Peter?
Charlie? Are you okay? Charlie? Please stop.
Charlie!
Please stop.
Charlie! Mom? What's happening?
And that even sounds creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Oh, God. The throat click.
It was
tongue
very
click.
unsettling.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into this, just for our listeners, so what we're going to try to do, because it's a brand new movie, and so we've done new movie releases in the past, but they've been for movies like Strangers 2. Guess what? You know how that movie's going to end.
Yeah.
There's
Truth or dare, no one cares if you spoil it.
Right? It comes at night. No one knows what happens at the end because no one went to see it, and
we tried to ruin it and we couldn't.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Still.
So what we are going to do for this movie, and probably most new movies, unless it's just very obvious what happened, like The Purge. Guess what happened, guys? They purge.
People were purging.
So in this, we're going to try our best to do a non-spoiler
Start of
of it. We will inform you when to turn this off if you don't want to get this movie ruined for you.
Go see the movie, then come back and listen to the rest of the episode. Yeah, definitely.
or don't. Either way, however you feel about this movie. And so Kirti, as our unsuspecting victim,
Sure.
you got to give you're trying to. Okay, you're gonna go into work tomorrow, and someone's gonna say, "Hey."
Wow, you look like you got no sleep.
Right.
What was the reason for that?
Right. What do you tell them? Okay, let's get past where you say I hung out with a bunch of idiots and talked
that's
about
not what
stupid
I was
movies.
gonna say.
Couple sentences about the movie. Like if you had to succinctly describe this to somebody, what would you say?
Yes, I would say that this movie does a pretty good job with the music and the
Well, no.
Well,
Like
what's
the
the movie
synopsis,
about?
like the synopsis.
movie.
Yeah, we don't care what you
Sure,
think. We don't care
sure.
what you think about it. We just want to know.
Oh,
what
Well,
you
we do. We do care what you think
Fine.
about it. But if you had to
abstract.
explain to somebody like
Yeah.
what this
Yes.
movie was, like
Yeah.
what was it about?
Yeah, I would say that the movie is about a family unit that has some issues.
Is it about an apartment? Is that what you're saying? Family unit?
It's a single. It's a single.
Yeah, apologize
household
for
dwelling.
my
The real horror.
my English
The
here.
real horror is the least terms. that's the real nightmare.
Let's not even get started about the real estate tax.
Yeah.
So clearly not about real estate. So yeah, I mean, it's really about just this family, and they go through a few tragedies, but also it's very unsettling as they're going through these tragedies. So you don't really know what's happening, what's triggering them, and then there's just some secrets that are known very upfront as soon as the grandmother dies.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would describe it.
Family secrets, terrible things happening. Hereditary. I don't know how they got pitches and made it happen, but it worked.
Yeah. So Nate, what do you want to tell us about this one?
Sure. Yeah. So this movie is the first movie from director Ari Aster. So that's awesome. This is this person's first movie. This is the fourth A24 movie to get a wide release. First one, obviously, the all-time champion, The Witch. The next one was Free Fire. And then the last one to get like the full wide release was It Comes at Night.
Okay. So I haven't seen the second one. So at least batting.
Free Fire's not the best. So
batting, what, 0.33?
Yeah. Hey, you can still get millions of dollars for that.
Yeah.
This movie was shown accidentally during a screening of Peter Rabbit. So you're watching Peter Rabbit, and the trailer for this movie comes on. Like a bunch of kids are about 6, and then hey, the Hereditary trailer. Someone's burning alive, and a lot of terrible things happening. They accidentally showed that they gave people a voucher for a free movie. So that was nice of them. The tagline for the movie,
I'm sure that took away all the tears and the
I mean,
nightmares from the children.
You know, as much as movie tickets are lately, I mean, it probably covers at least an hour of some therapy.
If they throw in the popcorn, you can just take all that money to send them to a therapist instead. I don't know. The tagline for the movie is "Every family tree hides a secret." That's okay. An okay one.
Yeah.
Right now, the movie just came out today, but it's already at a 7.9 on IMDb, and it's 86 Metascore.
Okay.
And I think I saw on Rotten Tomatoes earlier today, it was 94%. So it's a well-regarded movie. But we all know that can either be a positive or it could be.
I mean, It Comes at Night was highly regarded too, and
that's not a great. That doesn't bode well. Like 1 year after It Comes at Night, this movie comes out like another hyped A24 horror movie.
So
yikes.
Yeah. So before we get into your overall thoughts, I do want to ask that. You know, I have a feeling that some of these reviews, some of these movies, I think they're giving so many bonus points just for it being an original, not spinoff sort of thing.
Sure.
Like I like with this one, I'll tell you, I walked into this, I readjusted my I reset my bar and I lowered it. I lowered my expectations for this one.
Yeah.
So many people were saying this movie's incredible. This movie's so great. It's redefining horror. You know, I get concerned.
Isn't every movie technically redefining horror if it's a horror movie? Technically.
I mean, that's a very high praise for a genre that it has got some great entry. It's not like, it's like saying you're redefining new metal is probably a little bit different than saying you're redefining horror, which
Hey, my band Lamp Basket is doing very well. How dare you?
Oh, well.
There's so many ranges too in horror movies, right? So it's like there's a lot of different dimensions in terms of different creatures you can have, different like spins on it.
Torture porn,
yeah,
psychological.
Yeah. So I think redefining, I mean, that's pushing it.
Right. Yeah. So overall thoughts.
I don't know how I feel about this movie yet. I'll know by the end of the episode, but right now I want to say that I liked it. And I think there were components of the movie that were very well done. Still struggling with the ending. We'll get to that.
So I'll say this. I was on a roller coaster of emotion with this movie.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm struggling to recall a movie that I have vacillated so much on going straight from I fucking hate this to this movie's pretty genius to I fucking hate this to movie's pretty genius to I mean back and forth a number of times.
Yeah.
On that frame. So I'm with you.
I don't know if I ever hated it at all, but
there are parts I hated.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. We'll get into that. But I think for me, it was more like it purposely held on shots like really long, and it purposely showed the reaction of the person's face.
Yeah.
Like nothing else exists outside of the face, and they're reacting to something, and then they like fast cut to it.
I think this movie was trying to be too much. I think it had too much shit going on that deviated around the story. And they did at some point try to pull some of this stuff
linked
together.
it together. Yeah, it linked.
So it does. But at least on the first pass through, it's just so much. There's so many threads going out there, and I feel like they were trying too much. You know, I don't know. I've said on this show before, I'm very much more of a fan of someone who I'd rather a movie that is, this is my intent. This is really what I'm going for, and I see that intent through. Not I've got a bunch of shit on the table. I'm gonna throw you some of this and some of this and some of this and some of this, and then we're here.
But it could be on purpose to make it unsettling.
Yeah,
right?
It's
like
done on purpose.
He doesn't like it.
I'm just saying I don't like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Now,
that's
whether
fair.
it was
That's why
on
it works.
purpose or not, we don't know, right? I think I think towards the end, I still felt like, like there was a little bit of, they tried to kind of pull it together, but it still, to me, wasn't like a nice, you know, here's why all this shit happened.
Oh, it wasn't.
kind of thing.
It wasn't like
At
a
all.
direct line. There was a lot of deviations.
Yeah, and a lot of unanswered questions.
Well,
still.
it very much is like, I mean, it's very much like a George R. R. Martin novel, like his shit.
Yeah.
That kind of, I'm gonna plant the seeds for a lot of shit, and then I'm gonna try to narrow it in toward the end because I got to wrap this thing up.
And they did a good job of foreshadowing a lot with the shots.
Yeah, a lot.
A
Oh
lot.
yeah. The cinematography itself.
Yeah.
Is great. The music is great.
Yep.
I would think. Right?
Yeah.
Can we agree on the music being fantastic?
Definitely.
Yeah.
The cinematography is great. I loved the reaction shots. So you just see her face curling, and you're like, "What is this?" Like the suspense is really good, and then they show like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
that's crazy."
Katie, so sorry. What were your overall thoughts about this one?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as Nate. I can't decide. Like I was telling him earlier, I was like, I can't decide if I'm not going to sleep tonight or that it's going to be hilarious as I go to sleep. I don't know. I'm sure
This
that's a
movie's
very
truly
confusing
all
for this
things to all
podcast.
people. Yeah.
Well, and you know, again, it was an interesting movie experience too. You know, the whole theater, I feel like, felt in some way, because at times there were parts where the whole theater kind of collectively gasped out loud.
Definitely.
A couple of scenes, but then there were times where the whole theater laughed together. And particularly at stuff that maybe I don't think you
Mostly
were intended
started
to.
by you.
And by the theater, you mean
Okay,
you.
so one of them was me. One of them was me. That's when I vacillated back to the "what the fuck am I watching" point of this movie.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the actors and the family.
Yeah.
So Nate, who you kind of walked through the actors already, or
No.
Yeah, let's do that.
So Toni Collette crushes in this movie.
Yes.
As the mom, Annie,
Yeah.
right? She does an amazing job. She's conveying so many emotions.
Yeah.
Becoming lucid and reasonable to unhinged. She's all over the place. Fantastic. Did you guys have any favorites? I mean, she's the main actress carrying the movie.
she deserves any and all awards coming her way based on this one.
Her husband, Steve, played by Gabriel Byrne, or Gabriel, I guess. If we're in America. Gabrielle, if you want to be, pronounce it correctly.
Oh, it's finally catching up
Yeah,
to you.
exactly. Playing the more down-to-earth, pragmatic father trying to hold things together.
Yeah.
Toni Collette's character is a little more emotional, right? So he's trying to hold things together. You have the eldest son, Peter, played by Alex Wolff. I remember him from Death Wish. That's the main thing I remember him from.
Yeah.
And he is, everyone in this family, and then the little daughter Charlie, who has the tongue click kind of tick that she has. All of them end up dealing with the tragedy of losing their grandma right in the beginning of the movie, and then things spiral from there. Anyone stick out to you particularly, Kirti? Acting? Why? Those are the main 4 people. Everyone else is kind of. And then I guess you have the lady from. Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Ann Dowd. That's her name. I couldn't think of her name, but yeah.
I think definitely the daughter, Charlie. I think she had a very like interesting sort of childlike curiosity way that she would portray certain scenes, but yet it was childlike yet scary all at the same time.
Yeah, she was great also.
Yeah, the acting overall.
What acting school do these guys go to? I don't know.
The acting school.
Thank you. Yeah, no.
You're right. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I thought they all did a great job. Again, I think even the side characters, there wasn't really anyone that stuck out as like, okay, this is someone that we're like, we need an extra for this. No, they got quality all around. Everyone.
I mean, this is a long movie, and it's 4 characters.
Yeah,
4 to 5, one side character in this family, and that is about it. Yeah, they did pretty well.
I love how they used exposition in this movie. Right, I love how you found out details, and I will say nothing felt wasted. It all there is a point to a lot.
Yeah,
of
there was
it.
no like, oh, I remember now that one time they said the witch would come. Like that never happened in this movie. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's very, very Chekhov's gun, right? Like there's, they show you plenty of stuff in the first few minutes that will cycle back to,
and not all of it's bad necessarily.
Yeah,
so
it's just
throwing out a lot of things, and they all get referenced, but you don't know.
It plants the seed very well. So let's talk about a little bit about the overall family dynamic, because I think that's obviously kind of at the center of this. So the grandmother was kind of mentioned as being very private, mysterious, recluse. Yeah, didn't really trust a lot of the community outside.
Had her own rituals.
Yeah.
No one when they're doing when they're jammed out of Jimi Hendrix trying to bring me back. No one's gonna ever mention about Nate. He had his own rituals. No one's gonna say that, and I think that's probably a positive.
No one's gonna invoke the name of old granddad or his grandson as your
You summon the spirit into the shot glass. You take the shot, and then I'm now there.
Yeah,
that is okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I think
I'm immediately getting rid of my guitar thing and doing old granddad.
For your funeral, I'm gonna send you on like a boat, like Viking funeral, but nothing but old granddad just with you, and just light it up, and it's gonna just.
As long as it's not the normal old granddad, it's got to be 114.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be like
obvious.
And then we'll all drink the Capri Suns for the old grandson afterwards. Sorry.
No, I was just remembering my thought, but I don't remember now. So just carry on.
Solid.
Carry on.
solid guest work.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. So we have, the mom. And so she's mental illness. So she's kind of telling everyone that, my brother, he ended up
he hung himself in their mom's room.
Yeah. Yeah, as like a teenager. Yeah. Her dad had anxiety. I mean, so everyone in her family has some sort of mental problems.
He starved himself to death.
Yes, the dad starved himself to death.
That is, I don't think I've ever really heard that in a movie.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone saying, "Oh, how did he die? He starved himself to death."
That's a good point. This movie does use interesting words, like we were talking about them using apparition, right, as a word, which you usually just say ghost or something more menial. I think same thing with the idea that we hear the word ritual so early on, and just it's so sort of out of context that you don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like an older way of saying things. Bust that out, which is kind of cool.
So let me ask you this. There's a lot of concern at numerous times when Charlie's walking outside. She sleeps in their big, fancy-ass tree house.
Great tree. Hey, the houses in this movie are all great. There's a house party. That's a mansion. Their house is amazing.
Where do they live? Because these people are so terrified of being cold throughout this movie, but there's not a drop of snow or nothing. I don't know. The way they act around cold, you would think they live in fucking Alaska.
Like you think they live beyond the wall,
right?
They're not.
It's fucking Mance Rayner's house.
It looks like they live like
with the blue men.
I think they live in like the Pacific Northwest. They mentioned the Northwest is mentioned.
Okay,
I think they live in the Pacific Northwest somewhere.
I couldn't place it, but I was very concerned about this cold that. no one's really dressed appropriately throughout most of the movie for it, but somehow it's an issue. But
Lisa's not here, but I would be remiss, a word they should have used in this movie. They would have nailed it. But if we didn't talk more about these houses, there's a house party for teenagers that looks like it was basically like Frank Lloyd Wright designed a mansion, and like these like 17-year-old kids are just crushing a party in it.
Well,
like,
I've got to assume
I have never seen like this house is nice.
I've got to assume that this is like some parents have left for the weekends that they're having.
Sure, I'm just saying this house is amazing. Like I don't.
Well, hey, if it makes sense, if it is like in Oregon or if it's like in I don't know near fucking Silicon Valley or something, I could maybe.
No, it's definitely not Silicon Valley.
You're Oregon or Washington.
Yeah,
for sure.
But there were mountains in the back, so
yeah.
They're mountain.
I'm just saying
there were
mountains. Yeah, there were mountains in the some of the scenes as they're driving. You see in the back with snow.
Live in
caps,
Texas, don't know what a mountain is. Just
never
seen one. I see a hill in Austin.
Speed bump does not count.
But this treehouse is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it's a house.
It is a straight up house.
Yeah.
It's got heating in it, which seems dangerous. Straight up wooden thing. Yeah. I was gonna disregard that one. And then the house they live in. I mean, how many bedrooms are we talking here? Well, if you're trying to sell this place, you can sell this for easily $1 million. I don't think
land alone.
I don't think there's any problem selling this for $1 million.
5 or 6.
5 or 6 million?
No, 5 or 6 rooms is what they had.
Okay, yeah,
that they showed.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
There's like a workshop, and
there's the grandmother's room that's locked.
Yeah.
There is a workshop.
Yeah.
There is, the parents' room. Both kids have their own room.
There's an attic.
Well, that's not.
Nobody really lives in the attic.
Attic's not livable space. You don't count that as part of the square footage.
Let's
you would
not
know
start
that if you
talking
watch
about
Home and Garden.
basements.
I don't watch it. I take that as a compliment, so thank you. But
when you experience the thrills of home ownership, you'll appreciate.
Should we talk a little bit about things that don't make sense in this movie? So, as an example,
well, hold on. I just want to get into one more thing before we start getting into the spoilers. I just want to get into Toni Collette's profession.
Yes,
now, as far as
does it make sense to you?
As far as I know,
for this?
her entire job is for 6 months or more to make tiny miniature things for an art gallery. That's her whole job, right? Can we? Is that?
Yep. That's what.
And the
we
dad
understand.
is drinking scotch at a computer at one point.
Well, I think,
and that's his job.
During the day.
I think she's like a commissioned artist though. Yeah. Like she's not like, it's not like she's just like making like some displays like here's the model of this building.
She seems pretty small time to me. So.
Big time if they're like
Mitch, small time.
If you need to
if there's like a manager.
It was a slow burn.
Yeah, that was a slow burn. Jesus. Sorry, Kierty, go ahead, please.
No. I mean, I think it seemed like a legit profession. Now, what I don't understand.
A legit profession, she's making like little tiny books in a bookcase. The book's like a half-inch tall.
I know. So my thought is they just sort of shoved this in here to add a creepiness factor because
they shoved it in there to tell
it worked.
Yeah,
creepy
it worked.
Small models work.
But what I don't understand is like, okay, again, following if there was an actual story here, if she was commissioned.
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Wow.
God.
That's
if she was commissioned to do this work. I mean, is it sort of a miniature version of like an autobiographical? Like, I don't understand. She's just creating.
She's showing like her mom in hospice. She's showing the preschool her daughter had went to.
Well,
I don't know.
Look, this is okay. So who is it?
What buyer is buying?
Well,
this?
it's like okay.
like
remember how Goya? Okay, Goya, right? The famous Spanish painter had the Black period, right? It's when he had like super depression and really went all dark and everything's all, totally different. This is her like dark, her dark period.
This is her creepy period.
Yes, yeah,
she's nailing it.
Let's be real. If you're making little tiny miniatures, that's like if you're a doll maker, you're going to make creepy dolls too. You're going to make some regular ones, but you're going to make some creepy ones too.
That's the thing that I would say is if you're making already small things, why don't make them boring? They're already tiny. Make cool small things. People will actually see them.
Are they called little bits? Little bits.
Shut up and eat it, bitch. Little bits. That's our Rick and Morty hour. All right. All right. So I think we've gone over the movie. let's get into the spoilers. Can
All right.
we get into the spoilers? I'm sorry. I'm chomping at the bit.
Okay.
I'm ready to chop my head off. Let's do this.
If you're leaving us now, remember to come back after you see the movie. For the rest of you who want to
dig into this,
just a quick PSA from the real American, the Hulkster.
Okay, you guys, listen up. People pay good money to see this movie. When they go out to a theater, they want cold sodas, hot popcorn, and no monsters in the projection booth.
Or me laughing hysterically in the background. Okay, all right, fine. So we're in the spoiler section of this. So again, you've been warned. Let me just say, at one point, this shit gets so ridiculous. I laughed out loud. And other people joined me. There's people laugh before this, but there's one point where you kicked it off. I could not deal with the absurdity happening in front of my face.
It was a few minutes.
So explain to us.
It was a few minutes.
What was absurd to you?
I'll get to it because we have to cover a lot of ground.
Let's go through it first.
So let's talk it through.
As soon as we got to the spoiler section, Mitch took cocaine. No one saw this happen, but Mitch is on fire right now.
I can't verify or deny.
Let me explain to you my roller coaster. I'm gonna hit some plot points and we can come back and cycle through them. Okay, but I'm gonna unpack a lot here. The first major roller coaster. So first, you're kind of like, okay, what's happening here, right? We're gonna go through the motions. Then the asthma attack happens. So the boy, whatever his name is, Peter.
Yes, Peter. You got it. Yeah,
Peter and Charlie. He has to take his sister to this party. She has a nut allergy. They do a very good job of framing that they're cutting the nuts and putting it into the cake that they're making.
Yeah.
Who's making a cake at a fucking high school party with booze and weed?
People who live in a freaking mansion and have like all the money in the world. Like,
they don't have people to make the cakes for them. Nate. They're going to do it at the party.
I thought there were drugs in the cake. I thought there were drugs in the cake. That's why they made the cake.
That would have made more sense.
That's why I think they did.
Their drugs were pistachios. So that being said, the girl
pecans is what they had.
Who gives?
Wow.
Jesus.
Come on.
Dang.
We give Kierty the
This episode brought to you by Big Pecan. Pecans. Better than almonds. That's all I got.
Right.
I don't know.
So look, when this scene happens, she's having an allergic reaction. He's trying to get high with this girl he's been trying to bang ostensibly.
Yeah, it's like, I got weed. That's my in.
So he's got to he's flooring it to get to the hospital. Now he's being irresponsible because he's just like a band. He's like, look, I'm just trying to just go fucking do
go eat some cake,
else.
and I'm gonna try to hook up this chick and give her some dank weed. That seems like a reasonable thing that a teenager would do.
Right. Now, she is not being, she very effectively, like this whole scene is so well done by this little girl that the clawing at her throat that she can't breathe, she gets her head out of the window. And the first big thing is that he swerves to avoid hitting a dead dog.
Yeah.
Or something.
Some roadkill, yeah.
And I don't think that he realizes that her head's out the window.
No, definitely
But
not.
her head, I mean, he's flooring it. Her head hits a telephone pole and it separates.
Or power line, or power pole, whatever.
And I am so shocked that they actually just showed the head later on the next day, like covered in ants and lingered for a uncomfortable.
This movie lingers a lot. So even when that happened, and Kirti, you can chime in on this one. When it happens, he stops. And the camera stays on him for like how long? How long would you say?
Like easily a minute. Yeah. Yeah. If not longer.
This part of the movie, this is when I was like, I didn't hate it at this point, but I definitely said I am very uncomfortable. Like this is horrible. Like
it was very bad,
very horrible.
And there was a gasp in the theater.
The theater was like,
I don't think anyone, because all the marketing was around this girl, and this is 30, 45 minutes into the movie.
Not even a quarter of the way through the movie, she's probably dead.
Yeah. Very shocking. Very shocking.
Very effective scene though, because then he drives home. He's totally stunned. You can see his glassy eyed look.
Oh yeah,
he's totally in shock.
The sound effects are just everything about.
Parks at home, gets into bed, goes to sleep. I don't think he actually sleeps.
No,
but he's in shock, laying in his bed till morning. Mom goes to get some groceries or something, and sees her decapitated child hanging out the back seat. Yeah. Holy shit!
And they do a good job of not actually showing the mom, right?
But you hear her from the son's room The sound design in this is that's spectacular.
I will say, and they show her wailing in the bedroom, like about later on, and just her grieving.
The classic happy-go-lucky, I want to die, the pain is too much line. What are you talking about?
Right. the feel good movie.
I don't.
So I'll be totally honest about this. We've watched a lot of horror movies. We've seen a lot of kids fucking eat it. This was the first time I literally wanted to leave the theater and actually go see my kid.
Wow.
That's how effective.
Because I would say this movie is very like The Witch.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that? This is very witch.
Yeah, but even I watched The Witch and I'm like, oh, this is not pleasant. But I didn't even I watched The Witch holding my son and like
Father of the Year.
I literally just like looked at him and go, this is why we're glad we don't have witches near us in Houston. But it was fine. This was extremely upsetting.
It was.
And it made me question: is this really a horror? And I thought this is what this is going to be. Is this really a horror film, or is this just let's just make everyone upset?
and that's a genre too, right? Within horror.
And what this movie was great at is that you think that's the low point.
Yeah.
No. We can go lower and nakeder.
Yeah.
I'm foreshadowing. I'm foreshadowing.
Why would you give that up so early?
I'm foreshadowing.
Oh, okay. So
then the family tension after this accident.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was an accident. The kid was shocked.
And even though, the mom mentioned, but that's regardless. That's a hard thing to Now we should mention too. I think there is this weird kind of relationship. So the mom has mental issues that we talked about. She's sleepwalking, and at one point she had almost came very close to setting herself and her kids on fire using paint thinner and a match because she sleepwalks.
Yeah, sleepwalks.
So the boy already
put that in quotes.
The boy and the mom already have a pretty tense relationship.
Yeah. Well, hey, someone who burns you alive. Usually, you're not a huge fan of that.
But this is also exacerbated too because they mentioned that that she kept her mother, the grandmother, away from her son when he was a baby.
Yeah.
And then she felt guilty. So then she brought her grandmother back when she had the daughter. And then the grandmother is like, saying, I'm going to feed her. I'm going to take care. I mean, basically cut the mom out of the middle. Like saying, I'm going to be the one. It
sounded like, and this is one of the things I saw your face. You and I looked at each other. She did a little diorama that showed her
holding the baby in the bed
with her boob out.
And then the grandmother's her, yeah.
No, her boob's out. Yeah. And then the grandma is taking the baby to her boob. How is the grandma breastfeeding?
Well, so I think that's a little more, it's meant to be a little more metaphorical.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
other ones were exact scenes,
That's true.
If she did it with the grandmother with a bottle, you'd be like, oh, she's bringing the mom a bottle. I think it needed to be a little more.
But the other scenes were all literal.
I think this one they had to be a little more.
Well, they could have had 2 bottles, right?
And this is when the mom was insane. When she does the miniature scene of her own daughter's decapitation in car and says, why would Peter, the one who accidentally killed her, why would he be upset? This is a neutral scene of what happened. What the fuck? That was like I'm like, this lady is going to end up dying and murdering people.
So I said I was on a roller coaster emotions. This is the first dive for me. Like, oh fuck. This is where you scream. You're like, oh shit. It's like if there's like a little tunnel, and it makes you think like, oh god, I'm going to lose my head. And you go through that.
Lose your head.
So yeah, right. The next. Okay. So then you think, oh shit, there's going to really dive into a lot of like the mental issues because she's kind of seeing her. She's already kind of seen her mom there.
Yeah.
The boy's kind of haunted by.
Yeah. The brother is starting to see his sister
as
well. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to go. It's going to be a, mental issue thing. Then she meets a friend at this grief counseling thing who runs up on her and eventually kind of talks her into doing a seance.
Now, Kirti, if someone obviously it's hard to know how you would feel if you decapitated your little sister.
Right.
But, and then you were the mom of that and that happened. How susceptible to seances are you in your time of grief? Maybe more? I don't know.
I think I could see it both ways because you can see her initial reaction is just like, this is ridiculous. And, I think, this movie, one of the other things I noticed, and it tries to do that with the seance scene where everyone tries to look under the table, right? It tries to insert like a really weird, uncomfortable humor in really awkward situations.
Yeah, it's one of the few times they try to do like, comic
and I'm
relief.
just like,
And it really worked. Everyone laughed.
It works,
in the
but
theater,
it I think
in this
also
scene.
takes away from the movie. The seriousness.
Well, they can't like just be like Mitch.
Sure.
Mitch is leaving if they don't throw in a couple
Right.
laughs, right? I mean, Mitch is already like,
No,
oh shit.
here, I'll tell you this. So my first point where I said fuck this movie was this is when I thought when they started doing the seance, I'm like, you know,
Another seance movie.
It's not that it's a seance movie. It was more the fact of, you know, this movie is really talking about dealing with loss, at least for the first half of it. The second half, I don't fucking know what they're fucking saying. The first half, that was really about dealing with loss. And I've always kind of got upset about the people who like do the like fucking crossing over with John Edge, because these people are clearly looking for an answer. Like the neighbor's telling her why the seance works. She's like, I wouldn't believe it, but and it's like, I'm a total cynic. You know, I was sitting next to a super cynical neurosurgeon, and he was a believer, which bullshit. And then two, that's because they're there because they want to believe. They don't go there if they don't want to believe. And that made me angry. Made me very angry because at this point,
but I don't think that was real. I think it was
no.
More
It's
about,
totally fair. This is where I thought it was going. This is where I thought it was going, and that's why I got mad.
Okay.
So then when it became the fucking Conjuring, and then we went into the Wandaverse here. No, interest came back up. I was like, oh, okay, that's clever shit. Okay,
because the magic or the whatever is real.
Yeah,
things are happening.
Yeah,
like, for real.
Because at the house, at the friend's house, you're like, okay, maybe there's some like fucking parlor trick kind of thing here.
Yeah, it's like what was that movie we saw? Ouija. It's like the Ouija movie that we saw. Yeah, totally. But no, shit is going down.
And
chalk is writing on chalkboards. Glasses are moving.
Yeah, she's pretty quick to call her, like the mom is pretty quick to call herself a medium. By the way, I feel like there's at least one online like class you got to take to get a
she watched.
certificate.
I binge watched Patricia Arquette in the TV show Medium.
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm doing.
I've watched Long Island Medium enough. I got this. I'm basically an expert.
Yeah. What if she would have called herself a Smedium? Would that have been better?
So I think that's the kind of
I'm a medium. Sometimes I'm a Smedium.
Makes as much sense as anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Starting from this point,
quirkiness this movie has is those. It's like a comic relief in a different way, where it's like,
no, during the first,
in all seriousness, I'm a medium. I know what I'm doing now.
It's comic relief in that it's comic relief for us because we're like, wait, what the fuck?
No, but in the first,
but it's not
seance,
delivered like it's supposed. Like usually, it's like a little sidekick, like, oh man, that was and they make a little punchline. This was just like.
Yeah, but Aunt Lydia during the thing, she's like, stop. And she goes, what? And then everyone in the theater burst out laughing. It was very funny.
Wow.
That was great. So the second seance doesn't go quite as well. There is a mini possession, glass breaking, glass moving? I don't know. There's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Right? Did I forget? I missed anything? I'm trying to think.
It was tense. It was. This part got tense, and this is where I was like, okay, this is gonna be a legit horror movie, and not like, everyone's just got mental depression and fucking mental issues. Okay. So we're back on the roller coaster. We're doing like the fucking loop the loop thing. So we're it's pretty awesome, right? Shit's happening. Things are getting thrown all over the place. Pretty cool. Then it gets to that little, the part of the roller coaster where it's like a lame ass, like slowed down ramp to the end, and you just circle. You go into like a little circle for a little bit till you slow down. It's like that, but you went into a tunnel. So you go in a tunnel thinking it's gonna be fucking great, and then
what's
that's
on the end of this tunnel, and then you get the loop.
So we come to find out that Granny is part of a cult. Maybe she has found
define cult. These people are pretty effective.
They are.
Let's be honest.
They're not satanic worshipers. Although for some reason, satanic. Well, hold on, no. Listen. There is satani written on there. I get it on the wall. Which Seems like a really shitty made up fake. If you were gonna make up a fake demon language,
Satany.
Would you?
Jeez.
Yeah, you just put a Y on it, and no one's concerned. Oh,
it's
Satan.
Satany. It was an O. Come on.
Yeah.
It was not an O.
It was an O.
It was an O. It was an O.
It was an O.
I remember.
Still lame.
Yeah,
maybe it was S.A. Tony, San Antonio Tony.
Oh my
San
God.
Antonio.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Someone in San Antonio, you can steal that for your podcast handle.
I'm pretty sure it was, dumbed down so that they could recruit kids pretty early on.
Oh.
So, trying to make it all cute. This is Satani.
Okay.
So so
Kirti, I'm worried about what.
Right.
The marketing has gone too far here.
Why I say it's not a devil worshiping? I mean, there's apparently 8 princes of hell now that they are, and so there's only one of them. I don't know why the mischief one's the one they went for. I don't know who the other 7
it's like
are.
the War of the 5 Kings or something. But in hell, I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
Is this all Bible related? Sorry, I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Couldn't tell you. They had a random book with random gibberish on it and said that was
some of it was Hindi.
Yeah, it was like Sanskrit. Did you not translate it when we were watching?
Yeah, translate it.
Not Sanskrit because really there's not that many. It's the same.
Ancient Sanskrit. No, it could have been. Who knows these people? Yeah.
It's not. I looked at it briefly, but they did.
We brought in our ancient languages expert for this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm the ancient language correspondent.
Right, right.
Hold on.
They tried, but they again, I think they tried to like take some of the text and like erase certain pieces of it, so it wasn't so obvious what it was, and they tried to obviously make it more mysterious because if it's Hindi and if people can read it, it could sound something ridiculous.
Here are some personal details about Paimon that we'll get into.
Okay.
So the demon, this cult worships this Paimon, and they're trying to. Spoiler alert! They're trying to bring him back into existence. Yeah, go ahead.
His zodiac position is 10 to 14 degrees of Taurus. If you're wondering about that one, his plant is bindweed. His rank is king.
His plant.
Paimon is I'm reading this from blackwitchcoven.com.
Oh my God. At least you're using Mitch's Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, I am.
Why's it got to be a black witch?
Paimon is a day demon and rules 200 legions of spirits.
Only
some
200.
Are of the order. Some are of the order of angels. The others are the order of potentates. He is a great king and very obedient unto Lucifer. He's very obedient unto Lucifer. He's full of energy, loud noises, and bright lights tend to make him more active, which is actually used. The bright lights that start from one light source and then move across.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's actually kind of awesome. I didn't realize that. He's very colorful and friendly.
So they Googled.
Yeah. You know what I love about movies I go to see for the first time?
Yeah.
Having to do prerequisite research to understand what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, The Witch, you're welcome.
The Witch at least is fine. It's just everyone understands that time period. This is just
no.
King Paimon.
We learned so much about The Witch when we did that episode. I still know that if you are possessed by the devil, you can't say the Lord's Prayer. I still remember that from that movie.
That's useful.
Yeah.
Nate's gonna use these as baby Einstein films for his. Yeah. Teach you life lessons.
If the kid isn't baptized, you can make your broom fly. There we go. Awesome.
I did see the place where they made Harry Potter fly. I mean, where they shot the scene. So totally can
Scotland.
Totally can send you the castle name if you need to go.
If Lisa were here, she'd already know it.
I would love a
GPS coordinates.
I would love a
Probably.
witch Harry Potter crossover.
All right, look, let's get back. We're talking Paimon, not
adults.
witches.
Yeah. So anyway, so clearly, and of course, when your relative dies, I guess you should always look through their photo albums because you can learn a lot more with learning things than by not knowing things.
Especially if your mom was such a secretive person.
Exactly. Yeah, this is your one life. Although they were estranged, so I get it. But Aunt Lydia has been part of this group for a long time. Aunt Lydia has been doing some shady shit to get her son.
Was her name Lydia?
No,
it's Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
I haven't seen Handmaid's Tale.
She's Aunt Lydia. That hurts her character.
Okay, that helps. Sorry. So I'm like one of the few people who hasn't seen
Joni. Fine. If you want to do Joan, whatever. Yeah.
Joni sounds worse. Let's go with Joni.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. So she's part of the group. She's been doing all the shady shit. You find out that her and her group put the dead bodies, and the headless part is very important, which was crazy because Charlie is a 13-year-old girl and cuts the head off a bird like very early in the movie. Does the bird die.com?
As does the dog.
And the dog dies.
The dog was just okay. Sorry, we're jumping ahead, and I really want. I got so much to rail against. So I am
okay. So I'll get to the end here. So they basically set up a conjuring of Paimon scenario. They weakened Peter, and then they set up ritual areas, the candles, the dead bodies in the attic to then bring the spirits into him. That's the strategy.
Yeah.
Now, how they get there is interesting. And let the railing
Yeah,
begin.
A couple of things out here. So Paimon is covetous of a young male body, and that's why they're all the ultimate goal of this cult is to get Paimon into the boy, which is why the grandmother, I think why they got estranged in the first place, because the grandmother wanted to be nursing the boy.
Yeah.
And the mom said, no, get the fuck away from my kid. And then acted weird about the daughter. Okay. Now, there's so many things to rail against.
Oh man.
Let's start with the positive. Steve, the dad.
Yeah.
Best character in terms of, you know what? He's totally had it with this shit. He knows he married into fucking crazy, and he's doing his best because
it really burned him in the end, for sure.
It did burn him in the end. Also, maybe stop putting spoiler shit in your trailers, because I mean, it was in the trailer pretty clear. It's like, oh,
but
good.
there were a lot of scenes that happened in the movie that were hallucinations or dreams. So it could have been a dream.
It could have,
because there was quite a few in the movie.
It could have. This wasn't. Yeah. So it was pretty cool little effect, but it was kind of undercut because of the trailer. That was my problem with it.
It throws a book into the fire, and then her husband catches on fire.
Yeah.
Pretty instantaneous and pretty awesome, I would say.
Now, when she does that, she is then was she sort of possessed?
Yeah, straight possessed. Yeah.
Yeah. The possession rules seem kind of weird. Like,
so do the burning rules. I don't understand.
Why are they doing all this shit to this kid when the thing can like possess the mom pretty quickly?
Because he doesn't want a woman. He wants a young boy. Young male.
So what? It's fucking Michael Jackson? Is that what the demon is?
Yeah.
Great. All right.
He probably named his first kid Paimon. Probably. Knowing Michael Jackson. Blanket, so then Paimon.
Here's where the shit gets ridiculous. Okay. Because up until this point, it's very tense. Actually, admittedly, I wouldn't say jump scare, but it's very like, holy shit. It's pretty, it's very tense. I don't really know what's going to happen. Will the kids right.
Yeah.
And then we go straight into fucking cartoon land with her just like flying across. The mom is at some point flying across the goddamn wall, which the whole theater lost it. They all started laughing at that because it looked fucking stupid. It looked bad.
No, but
for a movie that has done so well with their cinematography and all that, this just looked bad.
But I think it was because the powers went into her.
I get what the point is. It looked like shit.
It looked so he wakes up and I mean,
it goes right to Carrie's point about the comic relief. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be, but that's how it went.
Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be funny like that. I think it was supposed to be like, oh shit, you see that? And everyone was laughing.
Yeah. So we have that. Then we get to this. I mean, again, I'm vacillating, right? Because I was like,
we got it.
I was like, oh shit, it must be that gourmet popcorn. Oh shit, the guy's burning alive. Oh man, this is all fucked up. And then why is she fucking flying around the house like she's goddamn Mary Poppins?
The first one was like it was like a glide. You know, it was like a nice glide.
Then this is compounded by there's this one scene where the boy sees the charred remains of his dad. In the living room, which is harsh. And she's up like in the rafters in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's again kind of creepy. Like, okay.
I'm gonna creepy.
I'm gonna forgive that one. I'm gonna forget one scene.
They do a good job because she's there and you see her for a long time and he's there looking at them. And then you show the zoom in on his face because he's reacting, which they did a really good job at. And then she's still there. So they're like playing with you, right? Like, oh, is she gone? Or is she gonna be behind him or whatever? And then you turn around naked dude. And you get creepy naked dude in the closet.
Smiling.
Creepy smiling naked dude in the closet.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Not R. Kelly, but another creepy naked dude in the closet.
So explain to me this whole, headless thing. I'm still not understanding why the heads needed to
be. The headless thing was part of the I believe like letting the spirit out or some shit. I think that was my guess.
Yeah, it's
her head had to be gone.
The head had to be gone.
Had to be gone.
And okay, the big revelation I think that it's kind of understated is that Paimon had actually already been brought back, but she was actually in Charlie. The sister.
Okay.
But what is clever again?
Yeah,
I vacillate.
Sure.
The cutting off the bird's head is indicative of this is,
that's how
this is the way to do
that's how you move it across.
She's playing with her toys, and all the toys she's popping the heads off of them.
Yeah, and you notice that you're playing with her toy,
changing the
thing
heads
on the toy. Yeah.
So when, God, there's so much shit, and we're running out of time. So there's one scene where the mom is like literally sawing off her own fucking head,
floating in the air, doing it.
Pretty gnarly, pretty creepy fucking visual. Batshit insane, but at this point, sure, why not? Then the kid looks, and that's not what makes him. Okay, so this kid's gonna jump out the window in the attic.
Yeah, there's 100, not 100. There's like 10 really old naked people there.
That's what makes him. Not his mom sawing her own head off while she's levitating.
I think because he's like in shock, and he sees old people. Is like, that dude's got a really, really gross penis. I'm out of here. Peace.
Well, I do like that all the old gross naked dudes are like soccer ball, like, World Cup. Yeah. They're all ready for the World Cup.
They're holding their junk like this.
Like they wanted to make sure that all the cult members are very insecure about being on camera at full frontal nudity. Not that anyone wants to see it, but still seemed like a very weird point. So he jumps out. Then the light hits him. So Paimon's there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he's damaged. They've released all of the power, I think, from multiple people to go into him.
So then they just give us a random shot of the dog dead. Just FYI.
Yeah.
The dog's fucking dead. I love
that. This is like the cherry on top for me. I'm like, Mitch is like 99% of the movie done. Dead dog in the background.
So this is basically the I just learned that I have breast cancer and let's never bring it up again.
All right. This is where I lost it. This was the day he looks up, and the next thing he sees is his mom's fucking headless body
floating into the treehouse,
not being carried by cult members. or anything.
No, it should have been. That would have been
straight
awesome.
up cheesy fucking green screen float up into the treehouse, and I laughed so fucking hard.
It started a chain reaction in the theater
because everyone did.
It was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
It was the worst.
I think it's because Paimon has additional abilities, obviously, and
sure.
And I guess one of those abilities.
Sorry, I didn't consult blackwitchnet. Occult.com before the movie. My bad.
.biz. Thank you.
Sorry, yeah.
But no, that was freaking hilarious. Because the first one, I think it was a little cheesy, but it wasn't too bad. It was cheesy, but not too bad. And when she floated up at the top and killed herself, that was intense enough where it wasn't too bad. And when she was on the roof or on the ceiling, hiding, kind of Spider-Man-esque, that was cool. Yeah. But that was bad. It's floating like I can't even describe. It's like you have like a pulley system and there's like a string.
It looks like it was it looked like if you saw this in like on Broadway and you're like, I'm coming home now.
and by Broadway you mean like Broadway High School in like rural Texas? Yes. I totally agree with you.
I think it would have been creepier if she was just like taking the stairs up. To the treehouse, right?
He's walking, every single stair.
That would have been creepy.
It would have been creepier. Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
Any of it would have been
that. I don't get.
You didn't need to see it. You didn't need to see it.
It just needed to be
the
there.
Mom's head, because he goes and sees his mom and his grandma's headless bodies bent over, kneeling to this creepy 10-man statue with his sister's head on it, which is super creepy. All of it undercut by shitty. I mean, someone had to have screened this movie before they release it, and no one
likes this movie.
No one said. That's my point. Who let that scene get in the final cut?
Yeah, her body should have just been there.
They continue with dialogue in that last scene. I don't understand.
And I like that. It was very witch-esque.
These are for
I liked it.
These are for all the idiots who didn't catch what we're talking about. Let me just kind of break it down. You're Paimon, you're eighth king of hell, and we're all gonna like bow to you. Hail Satani.
Satani sounds like some.
I see you, Rosemary's Baby. We're gonna raise.
It was very Rosemary's Baby at the end. More naked people, though. The old people were more naked.
Significantly more naked people.
Significantly
less Mia Farrow.
The more I think about it, the more I'm liking this ending. I'm liking it quite a bit. I could have done without the floating into the treehouse. That was bad.
The two, look, her levitating and shit.
Yeah.
It would have been fine had they done shadows. There was so many other ways they could have done it, and it wouldn't have undercut it.
Everything was great, and she killed herself. Yeah. That was great. And then the power came out of her when her head came off. Power came out. Boom. Perfect. Because it makes sense, I guess. Yeah. And then they just ruined it with the floating. Yeah. And I highly recommend everyone, if you don't care about, I mean, you're listening to this, so the movie's been ruined. Check out a GIF of this. Just check out a GIF of this. I mean, this GIF is getting used by me all the time in the future. Just heads up to everybody on our Twitter feed. Thank you very much. You're welcome. This is going to be on our Twitter a lot. So just
so what was the point of these people that are in the cult that I guess are
they're the worshipers? They help the conjure. It's a very conspiracy that you don't even really know about.
But then some decide to chop their head off, some don't. And you saw
no one chopped their head off. The grandma's head got chopped off after she died.
Right.
And the sister, same thing.
Right.
And the mom.
Yeah. She did it herself.
Yeah. But it was to get the power moved to him.
Yeah, I get that. So
it was only those three. That's it. No one else lost their head.
Okay. So I guess
I don't know why the grandmother had to lose her head.
She was the queen. She was the queen of them.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Jesus.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
like
not Jesus. Apparently.
Well, maybe the followers chopped it off for her.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. They definitely did that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's follow Paimon. Where is he? He's in Grandma at some point.
I don't think he's ever in Grandma.
No, Grandma's
the queen.
No, Grandma's she's the conjurer. Because if you looked at the paperwork, I'm giving this
the paperwork.
They threw gold at her.
You were throwing gold.
It's like if you're the conjurer, you win like The Price is Right, and they just like start throwing gold.
They threw gold at her, and she still ends up in hospice. So. Yeah. Broken system.
More money, more problems.
Again, they never talk about. Maybe that's how they got the house. No, but you already had the house.
Ooh, maybe. Ooh, yeah. Got a little inheritance.
Maybe. I think whatever. Terrible investment.
You only get the inheritance if you make your son weak enough for me to conjure something. But then, Charlie was Paimon the whole time. Oh, crazy. It was good. It was some good.
Yeah, that part was awesome. I would have liked a little bit more of that and less of the floating headless.
Okay, remove the floating. The movie was then way better for you? Like, did the floating just kill it?
It didn't kill it, but it was a solid exclamation point.
Okay.
Because again, there are parts that I didn't like and parts so we'll get into that with the final cut. But is there anything else about this movie though? Because we're definitely this movie's gonna be a long one, folks. So if you're still hanging out,
not as long as the movie, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Holy crap!
Was it really that with trailers though, or was it actually?
No, it was 2 hours and 21 minutes.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about with this one?
No. What would you do differently?
Sure.
Boom. Right into it.
Son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones. You only moved the headstones. Why?
They didn't move the heads.
Yeah, you only removed the heads.
Kirti, what do you do differently?
I don't know.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah,
I know.
There is a lot. I think I would do a better job of trying to tie together the story of like.
You're the director. You're going straight to that. No characters, nothing.
Yeah, I think I would just try to. I think it did a pretty decent job generally, but then again, there's some loose ends for me where I felt like, okay, so Grandma is this queen from whatever, and how'd she get into it? Is this the only thing? Like, is it just that obvious that that's a cult? That's it, right? Nothing more mysterious than that.
Yeah.
To me, it felt a little.
This isn't the sequel section.
Yeah.
That's Hereditary Origin. That's the next
Heredity.
Yes. Heredity.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Nate, what do you do differently?
I mean, the dad is money. All this crazy shit's going on. Call the cops. You know what? Maybe my son can stay over at someone's house for a night or two. You know what I mean? Like, get out of the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, take a vacation. Do something. Do your little miniatures of your daughter's death scene on a beach. Maybe that'll help you out. Get some sun. I don't know. Get out of that house.
Yeah. I'm gonna follow with you. Look, his wife is having. I mean, has lost her mom and her daughter in ostensibly this month apart. Maybe you hire a counselor to come into your house.
Yeah.
Maybe you do. I get he's kind of giving her space and letting her just do her work, but maybe you do something. You know, if I saw someone I love making a miniature model of the death of a loved one,
decapitated,
then I'm probably going to be a little bit more proactive in getting them help.
That's fair.
Yeah. So okay, very briefly, if you don't have anything, we'll I've got something for this next. But look, there's going to be a sequel. There's got to be.
This movie's going to do great, yeah.
Because let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel.
Yeah.
I love that sound.
All right, listen, I'm just going to pitch my sequel straight away.
Go for it.
If this is the only one we have tonight, cool, whatever. Next one's Paimon's Weekend at Bernie's. So he takes all the deadless or the headless bodies and the charred remains of his dad, and he just goes on it's just him going across the country.
There's Wilson soccer balls, the head on one.
Yeah,
he just started putting things on there.
That would have been funny actually when he sees his sister and the head rolls off.
Yeah, the apparition.
Ball, had it been Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
What
funny.
I probably would have been back.
Paimon Weekend at Paimon's.
Weekend at Paimon's. Boom, love it.
Wow, my sequel is the thing about this is that it's kind of like The Omen, actually. Okay. In that you have this conspiracy and the family doesn't know what's happening and all this bad shit's going on. And then in the end, this thing takes power. The second Omen is with Damien is middle schooler or high schooler. And the third one is Sam Neill as full on Antichrist. I would do that movie with Paimon running shit. He's head of a corporation on that shit, but not sucking like Omen 3. So Omen 3 is some trash. Good Omen 3. So I guess it would be called Hereditary 2. Hereditary
Corporate Edition? What are you,
corporate edition. Hereditary 2. I don't know, head on a swivel. I don't know.
What is Hereditary? What is the whole point? What did the name mean in this movie?
Well, it's because it was passed down because she nursed the girl and they passed down from the family.
You know what? Fuck it, I'll accept it.
And the illness, the family illness was Hereditary too.
Yeah,
the mental illness. Hereditary 2, all in the family.
The mental illness was brought up just to throw you off the scent. Let's be real.
Worked. Crushed it.
I did. I don't know. That's a good thing.
What would you want to see in a sequel of this?
Yeah.
I would do this and Annabelle crossover kind of thing.
It's every week we have an Annabelle crossover.
Oh, is that a recurring thing of this podcast?
It is now.
Okay.
Wait, what does this movie look like?
Well, so this Paimon dude, now he's in this dude, right? But
he likes to have the form of a young boy, but he still likes the dolls.
Well, so I think what happens is, he's chilling along, doing whatever, and
chilling out, Max, relaxing, all cool.
Yeah, well, for whatever reason, maybe he loses this body, right? And he has to get another sleeve. He can't find one, and that's where Annabelle or Chucky, pick your doll.
Ooh.
He
likes the male ones better.
Yeah.
How pissed are you as a cult member if you've decapitated, or you've worked to decapitate 3-ish people and just to get this
more.
body? And
there's more.
And then he loses this body, and you're like, fuck, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm in hell. That's what they're saying. I'm in hell now. You brought it to me. This is not how it was supposed to work.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. I want to know, what do you have as your rating for our last segment?
Final cut.
The OG drop. All right.
You go first, Mitch. You go first.
Fuck me. I mean, look, I feel like I have to give this 5 out of 10 ant covered heads. And I say that because, look, there are a lot of, I don't know, maybe that's not fair.
It's your rating.
I'll give it 6. I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. I will give it 6 out of 10. I will put on the plus side, because I will say this. You can't bitch about there not being original films and then,
this is very original.
Shit all over this. I will say it is.
No one is floating
like
this movie. It has got nothing on the floating in this movie.
Yeah, they all don't need to float down here. Is really
even
the point.
Titanic didn't have this level.
Oh my God. Wow.
boats.
Wow.
Sorry.
Leo DiCaprio in the sequel.
Too soon. Yeah, I mean, like this movie's all over the place story. Like,
yeah,
it misdirects you in a way that is not very like. It's just there to misdirect you, and you know. A lot of it ties back together. Some of it,
the misdirects tie back, which is I think maybe why
there are some
give it
egregious, unforgivable things that happen in this movie.
The floating is so good.
The floating is so bad.
It's so good.
It's so bad. It is. I expect that out of like shit like Troll 2 in The Room. I do not expect it out of an A24 film of the like this that has been this good in so many other spots.
The more you're talking about, the more I love it.
So yeah, that's 6. I'll give it 6 out of 10. Though. I will say, yeah, if you like tense movies, if you really like them, I mean, it has that in spades, for sure. So, Kirti, let's go with you. What would you?
Yeah, I would say again, it tries to do a decent job, and cinematography is good. Yeah. Music creeps you out. So I would give it 7 heated tree houses.
Okay,
nice.
Nate.
This is more of a type of movie for me, I think, than anyone else. In this probably group, the parallels to this and Witch are absolutely
which
amazing.
Is why you love it, because you love it.
Yeah,
Witch is why I love it. Exactly.
The
I mean, yeah, the sound design was so good. Like I was actually turning around, like because things are happening behind you, like so much. In other movies, that doesn't really happen. Like as much.
Yeah.
Like I turned around a few times in the theater, like oh shit,
they had
those bugs behind. It was just behind. It was actually kind of awesome. Some of the stuff that they did, the scenes where they would cut on the face, then turn around. I can't say how like that just ratchets the tension up like dramatically. I didn't mind the story as much. It tied together toward the end a little too conveniently, I think, but that's fine. So I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10 EpiPens because let's be honest, if you got a peanut allergy, carry an EpiPen with you at all times.
Yeah.
Seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, so let me ask you. So with the story, once you knew it was going to be possession based,
sure, I don't care.
It was still, you didn't find it too predictable at that point?
No, because I didn't imagine the bodies in the attic or all the creepy old naked people in the cult. Like
I would hope you didn't imagine the creepy old naked people. We need to get youth therapy as well.
Yeah,
as
exactly. No, I didn't see that part, and I didn't see like the coronation thing happening at the end. Yep. Just like when the devil shows up in The Witch, I don't mind like that they show it. Like a lot of people are saying like, yeah, just say it was the devil and then like cut away. Like,
oh perfect. No, I
like,
agree with
some
you.
people kind of say stuff like that, and I see the merit of that, but I kind of like when they go a little bit farther. And so they did, and this one they did, and there's like, now there's this Paimon dude, and he's making heads roll, and hopefully it's for us, and everything will be great.
All right, well, hail Satani.
It sounds like a catalog of like really expensive clothing that's not great. Like, you get the Satanic catalog.
I'm going to tell you, in between, I'm still going back and forth because in between, I went from 5 to 6. While Kirti was talking, I wanted to go back to 2, and then as you were talking, I wanted to go back to 8.
Yeah,
I don't know. This one,
I think I'm gonna go see this again.
I am not.
I think I need to see it the second time to like really get a feel. But
great.
I liked all the elements.
Well, Nate's family, be warned. He's going to tell you. He's going to make you watch this. This is now Nate's The Witch. So this is more The Witch than it comes at.
But
night
say what you will, this movie is way more memorable than The Witch. Like the scenes in this movie, you will never forget a lot of the scenes in this movie ever. And that by itself is
that is probably the best point to make about this movie.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Nate, where can they find us?
Yeah, so you can tweet us at TXPodMassacre. You can find us at our website, TexasPodcastMassacre.com. Rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, and Spotify, and all your other podcast platforms.
All right, Kirti, thanks so much for joining us.
Ciao.
Can't wait to have you back.
So last word, was this better than It Comes at Night?
Yes.
Yes, we did it. We did it. Yes.
You're the best around. All right.
Then it's going to keep your head down.
All right. Well, from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.